Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, I'm trying out this new microphone headset thing. I got one recently that goes through the audio jack, and I was walking around, and this dangly cord, man, it grabbed a hold of something, yanked the thing out of my ears, but it also destroyed one wire on one speaker, so I only hear one side. So I went ahead and ordered another one, but this is a USB connection. But anyways, I'm just checking it out while I'm doing this video. But the name of this video is Quality of Life. And the reason why I say that is you hear this sometimes, this term being used where, people will say, I want to live, a long time. And it's like, yeah, you could live a long time, but what if it's not pleasant while you're living that long? And that's where the term quality of life is that I don't know if it, that's what I'm using it as. It's just like, there are things that you can do in your life that will significantly alter your perception. Now, in my case, I'm just speaking in my case. I'm not speaking for anybody else, because I was in this black hole of none of my hobbies, knives, radios, nothing gave me any pleasure. I wasn't suicidal, but, it was like, meh, if it happened, for whatever, excuse me, for whatever reason. And, you know, mental depression is difficult, and also, I don't know if it's still the same number, but a lot of vets just commit offing themselves. It's a word you can't say for some reason on YouTube, but I mean, they extinguish themselves, and it's understandable. I mean, you go through a lot, and I'm not speaking, for myself. I've had PTSD, and some people will poo-poo that, but that's basically just like you've been subjected to so much trauma, you it it does weird things to you. Like one of the traumas I had, I've talked about before, was when my niece was kidnapped when she was a baby, and I was on leave, and it was this whole event of trying to get the kid back alive. And at one point, I had a Remington nylon 66. I was taping a bayonet to the end of the barrel. We were going to go in, and I was going to go in and blast him, you know, that type of thing. Well, when you go through something like that, that's so traumatic, for many years, I could not speak about that without my voice constricting, I mean, because it's reliving the event in your head, and you experience this stuff. Well, that's part of depression, I mean, and I think what hit me this last time was, like I said, I could think about different concepts about knives that I could be doing, and I had no desire to do it. Now, I'm talking about no monetary desire, no physical desire, no mental desire. I mean, I could put it together in my head. Oh, this is a video that I can make about this. And my brain was going, why? We're all going to die anyway. The world's going to hell, I mean, why? Who cares? And that's just, part of it is getting too caught up in things. That's why I took, a couple of months off of just trying to figure out what was going on in my life. And let's get back to the quality of life. The mistake I made, which I've talked about before, with getting a cat, was my logical problem of experiencing the pain of having a cat. I mean, Sparky was with me for like 18 years. Man, sometimes that's human, But I mean, a full life like that, a great cat, just really loving and everything else. And when they go, you're like, why put up with that? I mean, Why put up with that pain? Well, you forget about all the time that you had that was good. Now, for me, the issue here's where it goes. Quality of life, because it costs so much money to declare a pet. Now, originally when I came in here, I had 2 pets. I declared them, and Sparky and Fat Boy, and they both, died. Sparky first, no, Fat Boy first, and then Sparky. And after that, I saw how much it would cost, and really at the time I did not want another pet. I just didn't feel like it. I think Tobias has gone through that. Same thing with Kitty. He is so attached to Kitty that you just don't want to. You're not ready for another pet. Well, I understand that, but the thing is, animals don't understand that. Animals don't understand the mental stuff we're going through. And I looked back. I just watched a video of April of this year when Shadow was playing his long game of "You're my friend," and guess who came up? I call him Stripey or Stripe Face right then. Guess who came up and interrupted it? Stripey was trying to be my friend, and he said, "I don't like this interloper that you've got here. He's not a real friend. He's just acting like one." Well, in reality, Shadow was really genuinely friendly. All right. I think he just forgot about me. But the good thing was, in my mind, when I help out animals, like here I am in an apartment complex, and there's a bunch of houses around us and everything. So whenever an animal comes up, needing help and looking like it's hungry, I got the impression sometimes that it's like you're out in the country, like if they don't get help from you, they're going to die. And that's not the case around here. There's a lot of mooches, and Shadow's a good example of that. He basically was using me during the day as his chill out spot. And he always wanted to go out at night. Why? Because he's Shadow. No, because he's got a second home. He goes over there and mooches too. That's why he's so picky. That's why he was so picky on food. But I think he's a wild cat still because of the way I like Shadow. I mean, even though he's not the one I adopted. But Scrappy, oh my God, what a loving cat as far as like animals. But to people, but animal to animal as far as fight, man, he is vicious. He is vicious against other male cats. And I want to rescue him from that because it's like a prize fighter. I mean, you're going to have only so many, and then after a while, all those punches that you absorb when your brain was getting rattled up against your cranium and everything, adds up. Just this little damages over a long period of time adds up. And the fate of a top cat is, yeah, you're tough until somebody tougher or younger takes over. It's always the same way. There's this old tough bull out there, and he's tough, and then, somebody challenges him, and he's won a lot, but all these different battles, he only got one horn now. And he can't see out of one eye, and it catches up with you, age and battle scars. So getting back to the quality of life, because I was hiding this and everything, I would also hide from people. If the thing about it is, if somebody can get leverage on you or against something, they can hold it against you. Neighbors will do that. Why does he have a pet? And I don't think he's paying on it. And how come he can do that and I can't? Well, so you got to be cautious about that, and then not having a pet in here, and being single. My floors were not mopped or swept, hardly ever. I barely just get something out of the way. Today, Scrappy's got me so well trained. I saw him sleeping over here. I got a sponge, and I put it on my foot, and I just went through and I started cleaning that, and I started cleaning the floor, and I'm doing this. Why? Is it for me? Well, and it helps me out, but I was doing it for him. So he's improving my quality of life. That also, like I was talking about this lady walking her dog. When you have a pet, you have something in common. Like for me, I'm an introvert, all right? I mean, I can handle being around people, and you wouldn't notice the difference or anything, but it's just the social pressure and the fear of, people judging you based upon your appearance or your age or whatever, It just adds up. And when you get older, you don't have to put up with all that crap. You're not being forced to work with someone in a work environment, and you have to put up with all different kinds of people. When you get older, what are they going to threaten you with, We're going to take your job away. All they can threaten you with is, like Social Security or something. But you don't want to get old veterans pissed off, because you're doing stuff like that. Because they really have nothing to lose. Your life, yeah. But, when you get old, you see that coming up anyway. But, so, that's one of the things right there is not having a pet, having to sneak around, but mainly not having a pet. He sat here, like he'll go up to the door and he'll, I want to go out. And I've been putting, this is just paint. The paint came off from this adhesive stuff. Not that, but the shiny metal stuff, the duct tape. The glue is so good it'll pull the tape. This is what I do. I put this up here, and then I put my battery or something else in there so he can't pull it down. That just keeps it from, but he's got a little pathetic, kind of like, he wants out and everything. Well, today, I was sleeping there, and that's another thing that with Shadow would have me interrupt my sleep, because I knew he would come around at 3 o'clock, and if he came around, he'd get in a fight with Scrappy, and I'd hear it, and it interrupt my sleep, and oh man, I was always worried about, him getting into a fight, and he did more than once with Scrappy, and his bites are infectious, So, as vicious as you would think Scrappy would be, tonight I was sitting here in the bedroom in here. This is where I sleep, and when a new cat, they explore. He's more comfortable laying on the floor. He's come in there a couple of times, but dipped out. But here I am sleeping, and he comes up and lays full body against me. Sorry, I just yanked this cord out doing what I was talking about. Part of your quality of life is if you can afford, to live. All right, so the next thing, besides the cat, the next big, huge improvement just happened today, and that because I was going to go pay that pet deposit, I only had like $50, that I could put towards it. So I went and got a money order. While I was getting the money order, I found out that they have not had an optometrist there. I couldn't really afford it because I'm doing this pet deposit and everything else, but I was really just checking to see what price. How much would it cost to get an eye exam without insurance? And they said $100. And I said, okay, thanks, because I had called before different places around here, and it was like 100 and 125, 150, depending on if they have to dilate and all that. Well, they're definitely going to have to dilate if they want to see what's going on inside your eye, So I was just reconning, basically, and I really didn't have the money. I actually had enough money in my account. I'll put up my balance on there to show you that I'm not BSing. I'll put up, on this video, I'll put up what I've got in my account right now. And this is not a plea for, I'm just saying I've made mistakes in life, and hopefully people can learn from my example. So, glasses. My God. You talk about a need. I've talked about this before. What has been holding me back on glasses? Well, I needed an eye exam. Well, how much does that cost? Well, I didn't have insurance and everything, so I don't know. I just never got an eye exam, and I kept messing around with these screwed up glasses for 25 years. This was the last time I had an eye exam. 25 years ago. All right? This is the second pair. This is the older pair. Guess what I found out from the doctor? You know the old man thing when you move the stuff further down? Because my glasses are so thick, prescription was like -11 and stuff like that. -10, -11. Uh, Look, they're not even seated in the. I think you can tell this one on the right is not even seated in there correctly. So that's what I'm putting up with. Is very. Anyways, I go and get the eye exam, and I've got 20/20 vision with correction. So I've got the eye exam done, but I can't get the glass yet because I can't afford them. Now, again, I'm not begging for money. I'm just telling you, because I didn't have glasses, I didn't renew my driver's license. If you don't renew your driver's license, guess what? I mean, you can still vote. I didn't realize that. I thought it was, voter ID. You had to you have a driver's license. You can't buy a gun. You can't drive, of course. Now, you would think, well, why would you need a driver's license at your age and stuff? I was at a party in Waxahachie where everyone was drunk, and the person that drove me home was drunk. And if I'd had a valid ID, even then I should have done it, I would have been able to drive. But I didn't because of a combination of eyesight. I mean, I wouldn't trust me on the road behind with one of these, but because I know how to interpret stuff, and I was born having difficulty, like I was born basically can't see, blind as a bat. I remember my parents were always like, "Get away from the TV, you're too close. You're going to ruin your eyes." My eyes were already ruined. They were ruined at birth, so I had no choice in that. All through kindergarten, first grade, up in Michigan, no glasses. And my vision is like it is now. I can see shapes. I can see colors. I can tell you that, I know what it is now because you learn how to, there's a couple of tricks you can do with that. One is you can kind of compress your eyeball because my eyeballs are too long. That's what you can kind of compress them physically. Another one is you can kind of squint your eyes and you're looking through your eyelids, your eyelashes, I mean, and they kind of like work to help see things. Well, what gave me away was the teachers in Texas eventually figured out that, hey, the reason why he's squinting is because he needs glasses. And all my life I had pretty much, gotten glasses every year, and the prescription kept going up and stuff, and it just seemed to be more powerful and more powerful. Well, as you get older, guess what? My power is now down to -5. I'm -9.5 and 9.7. Got the prescription right here. That was the pain. And I've got a glaucoma in both eyes. But, as far as like the cat and everything, the fees, I'm going to have to come up with the vet whenever he gets neutered and everything. But talking to Amber, the manager, and she said she'll let me know when there's a roaming spay and neuter type thing, either low cost or no cost that comes through, and I'll get him done then. So that's the only additional cost that's going to come up from that. But I'll come up with it. Once you break that mental hurdle, I'm telling you, man, it was just like you don't want to be in that deep, dark, black pit, where you just don't care. I mean, really, seek help when you run into that, because I don't go to doctors. I've always tried to figure out all my problems on my own. But anyways, with those two changes, man, I feel so much better. I mean, I don't, the world hasn't gotten a lot better, but to me, the world has changed differently. Oh my God. Now so many things. If I was going to lose my license, I was also going to lose my motorcycle endorsement. I don't want to go through another motorcycle test, but I might want to get like a small motorcycle. I don't have the money for it either. Like there's a British Enfield. I got a pictures of. I'll put it up, but it's like a 350 single, cc bike. Man, I went all over the place in Houston on 80cc two-stroke Yamaha. I mean, in Houston, I was going all over the place. It had a top speed of 55 miles an hour if the exhaust port carbon was cleared out. You had to take the cylinder head off and, scrape the exhaust port enough, and then its speed picked up. But it did not have a lot of speed. But man, 5 miles an hour is zipping. The electric bikes and electric scooters are fine for local commutes. Waxahachie's got a lot of stuff. All these other, I can't get there on my bike. And again, with a bike, you are exposed to the elements. If you have a car, even a cheap car, you can go get your groceries and everything. That requires a driver's license, of course, insurance. So I'm saving a lot of money on insurance and gas and all this other stuff. That would. I have no problem with what I have right now. But it would be better to have a vehicle and a driver's license and stuff like that. So again, it's just things that, you saw that, right? $100. I mean, that's what's been stopping me. I can probably come up with $100 with one knife in here pretty easily, but I mean, I spent a lot of money. Now, there's nothing wrong with buying knives and stuff, I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to say that. What I'm trying to say is, I myself have a problem with priorities. Of setting priorities properly. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, I should know better. Why look through foggy, crappy glasses that don't... You gotta tighten them up all the time and everything. Why? Why are you doing that? It's complicated. Yeah, it is complicated because it's a mental box. It's a mental trap that I put myself in. And guess who's got the key? I'm the only one. So you put yourself in a thing and you throw away the key. Well, it's going to take a while to figure this out. So anyways, I'm going through all this long-winded discussion just to let you know things are going to improve on my channel. Already. Now I can do things on the back porch because I don't have to worry about bug and shadow. Because he loved the back porch. Now it's my porch. And Scrappy is so well behaved, he doesn't jump up on the... I don't mind him jumping up, on the sink and everything, but he doesn't jump up on the sink. He just sits here and like, eh. Man, if I did not have Shadow, if I got in here with Shadow and I did not have food, he would get up and then attack me, physically attack me. I'm not kidding. Draw blood, So I wind up with a bunch of cat food because I'm feeding all these different cats. And the reason why I'm feeding all these different cats is, again, they psych me out, And sometimes it's obvious, like this kitten that I'm working with. It's been abandoned, Tonight I've officially domesticated it for me. Because it lets me pet it. It comes up to me and it wordles at me or something. It may have little musical notes. I've got my little toy. Let me show you the little toy. You know how long it's been since I played with a kitten? It's been like 1980 something. But this guy. He's been jabbed twice with the K-bar. I found a new game, but this is the best way because you can teach them, you can play with them a lot, and like, it's not expensive, I got it from Slamazon. Paracord, I had to repair this because they were very good at butchering Mr. Mouse. But you can teach them to climb, you can teach them how to hunt, And you can also teach them how to walk with you. This little one, I can just put it up as a little thing and tell him, all right, if I turn this way, it's to go left. I go this way, it's to go right. If you want to play around. And I let them catch it too, you know. Like a lot of people laser point animals like cats, and it just annoys the crap out of them because they never get, it's a hunt and kill thing, you know. It's catch and kill. And you never let them kill their prey, you know. So I'm having a lot of fun with this. I sit out in public. Used to be I was like, oh, I ain't going out there. You know, everybody can see. I don't care what. No, I don't care what people see. You know, all I'm about is this is fun. You know, and a lot of people are enjoying watching the little kitten playing around, even if I'm the one that's doing playing around with them. So all I can say on this, you know, is I have 2 huge quality of life improvements. Because, man, when you, like what I've just done right now, when you only have 1 pair of glasses, and they're not that good, but even then, if you lose them, oh, I found them. More than once, I could not, I mean, you try finding something with everything blurry, you know? And if you've got a job, like if, I've lost these when I've had a job before, and it's like, oh my God. I cannot drive like this. How am I going to get to work and stuff? Just panic. And it's simple, you know. When you get your prescription and you get your glasses, get a backup pair, maybe 2 or 3, and keep your prescription current, you know. This was kind of big, but I used to have a small one that I kept in my wallet. But that is very important. Just those numbers. If you have those numbers with you, at least another doctor somewhere would do it. But they can't just grind up some lenses for you, you know. So yeah, I mean, even driving on that electric bike, man, there's all kinds of crap on the road, and it better be huge, because my vision it's not like it's 100% blurred all the time. Alright? It's like there's sections of my lens where I can see that this says high index, but if I turn my head slightly over here, I can't see it at all. So I have to hold my head down and kind of cocked a little bit just to be able to see it. And I wind up just taking my glasses off, like I just did again. Where are they? There they are. I'm going to hold on to these. And I wind up taking them off and looking at everything real close, and basically through one eye. You know, I'm not even stereo eyeing it, because it just winds up, I'm just usually using my right eye looking through it, which can't be good. You know, I mean, with your brain, people get headaches. Man, you want some headaches? I gotta fix this. Look at this. I'm gonna try to fix this. And this pops out too. Lenses pop out, move around. But all that, you know, all that's straightened up now. So, like I said, I'm just repeating myself there. I moved it back with my thumbnail. Now that's more aligned. You see what I go through? But I go through it. I got nobody to blame but myself. And I am blaming myself. But anyway, I went to Dollar Tree, and I got a new dinosaur. Guess what? The price of dinosaurs has gone up. These were more expensive. He's even bigger than Dick over here. But that's going to be added in the giveaway. There's a knife giveaway going on right now, in case you hadn't figured that out. I was going to throw in some bandages, because of course, you know, knives. Well, he's got bandages. So you got a dinosaur, box of bandages, and I'm going to try to work on something else. But I mean, that's what it is right now. So there you go. That's a little update, a little life update. And yeah, think about those things, because the priority is wants and needs. There's all kinds of knives that we want, you know. But unless it's a really odd situation, you really don't need those. Concentrate on things that you need, and that would be, like glasses and love. If an animal comes up to you and is offering love, and you're like, nah, I don't know, it costs too much, or it's too expensive, or whatever, man, that cat is worth more than $400 just in the amount of love that he kicks out. I mean, he came up today because I was just like, all right, I'm going to try to keep him in here. I'm just going to go to sleep in the bedroom, and he's just going to have to deal with it. And he came up, and he goes purring at me, and then he just full on face into my face and just rub and purr, and I'm like, okay, you want to go outside? I'll let you go outside. Maybe you want to go see your son or whatever, but I mean, I just can't. He won me over with that one. I mean, he is really, and he doesn't trust every human, but he's really good with people. I mean, I've stepped on his tail. He's never once reacted out of it. The only time he's ever come close to getting me is when I'm playing with a toy and my hand gets too close and he's actually trying to nail the toy. But he's never drawn blood from me. That one cut that I thought that he did, I don't think it was from him, because it doesn't look like a cat cut, and I would have remembered it, But yeah, he's got claws, and he doesn't spray in the apartment. The first time he came in, when there was Shadow over here, he came up, Shadow and Buddy. He came up here and he goes, "Oh, nice place." And he walked up and he lifted his tail and he sprayed right in a bucket of buoys right there. He just sprayed at him. I'm like, all right. Shadow's not doing that. Buddy's not doing that. You want to do that spraying, go outside. But what that is, that's marking territory. And he was saying, like, look, I've already marked this guy as my human. And all you guys are interlopers. So, yeah, I know I keep coming back to cats, but you're going to see, more of that. But, and also, like I said, that little throwing game that I come up with, I found a piece of wood out there, and I'll come up with what I'm going to do is, it's a way of practicing. And if you make it a game, it makes it more interesting. But I'm going to take like 5 paces, throw the stick however far I want to throw it out, but basically 5 paces. And then I've got to stick the knife into the wood hard enough that it doesn't fall out, but hit the. If I miss the piece of wood, or if it falls out, then that's it. I can't proceed any further. You got to wait till the next day, and it gives me something to do, and I get to practice with throwing because I was trying. I tried the spin one again, or the half spin and everything. Nah, I need a lot of practice on that. I'm good with the no spin throw. I'm getting that one down pretty good. It can hit hard. Well, you saw, man. I mean, it went all the way into there. I don't know how this guy survived. He's mostly just a little foam thing, see? But he still works. He still works as a mouse. But, I find that fun and interesting now. There's a bunch of furniture out there now for me to stab and slash, so I was going to do that at first, and then I remembered, you do not want to throw a knife at a mattress. Let me tell you, I don't care how sharp it is, unless you're nimble on your feet, because that sucker's going to bounce. But anyways, I'm rambling too far. I've got to edit this, but I've got more content coming up. We got rain coming up pretty soon, but I think Lake Bardwell is still open, so I might try to make a trip down there. I've got to do some maintenance on the bike. It's got a rusty chain. The alignment's not right, and I've got something weird with that, but I can make videos on that. So see, there's a lot of things that I can do now that I had no desire. Like, I was like one of those eye sockets in the skull. Nothing, it was black. And I don't know. I don't know what happened. Well, basically getting the cat pulled me out of it. The cat saved my life. Some people might find that funny or whatever. I do. But, yeah. I mean, it gives you a reason, a purpose. When you're old and you're by yourself, somebody to talk to. Now I talk when I'm talking instead of to myself. Somebody to blame when you're missing knives. The cat did it. I couldn't do that before. If something's missing now, Scrappy did it for whatever reason. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that I just can't express to you how different I feel from that. But anyway, I'm just rambling right now. It gets late at night. Like I said, the past 2 days I've had like maybe 3 hours of sleep, and I've walked like 12, 13 miles. I mean, I would just walk. So I get kind of dingbatty when that happens. So I'll cut this off for now, but I'll post up the other ones, and we'll be chatting again here in the future. So thanks for watching, and have a nice day.